Hey, what's good? What's good? What's good? Welcome to Reflections of a DJ, the R.O.A.D podcast presented by DJ City. Big shout to DJ City. I'm one of your hosts, DJ Crooked. Unfortunately, my other hosts, DJ Never, DJ D-Miles, and Jamie the Great are not with me. As this coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic continues, we continue to be in self-isolation, self-quarantined. We're now getting through our first week, approaching our second week of self-quarantine, and hopefully after that second week, we'll be able to record all together in person, but we'll take it one day at a time and see exactly what's going on because there's changes happening every day. But I'm gonna make sure to end the episode with those guys and check in with them. Otherwise, we're gonna continue to push forward. I got a couple guests lined up for today. I'm gonna hit up a couple homies, DJ homies from out of town who are also club owners. I'm gonna get their perspective on what's going on right now with all these businesses shutting down, and how it is for them as DJs and club owners. Hey, what's good, fellas? What's good, man?
Yo.
So for all our listeners here, we got DJ Evil One from Portland. He actually owns a few businesses out there in Portland. You got Century Bar, 20 West 3rd, is that right?
Yep. Century, Tube, Maxwell, Fortune, and Revelry.
Revelry is like an Asian restaurant. The other ones like bars and nightclubs and stuff like that, right?
Yep.
And
totally.
Then you have what is this, like a music trust? Is that like a...
Yeah, the music trust. We program DJs and bands for hotels and venues all around the country too.
All right, cool. These are all your businesses, huh? You're a busy guy.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yep.
And then we got my boy Nugget in Pittsburgh. And you're an owner of the Goldmark Bar and Scenario Nightclub.
Yes.
So you started with the bar and then you opened the nightclub later.
Correct.
All right, cool. And then we got Chris from Bruno's, San Francisco, notoriously known on the West Coast. You got a lot of good DJs filtering through there. Like last time I saw you, there was Miles Medina. You guys have Jay Espinoza and all these guys there regularly.
Right.
First off, thanks guys for coming on and pause and speaking with me about this, what's going on right now and how you guys are getting affected as DJs, and I mean from a DJ's perspective, but most importantly from a business owner perspective. You know what I mean? So I know that San Francisco right now, you guys are on full lockdown, right, Chris?
Right. Yep.
You guys cannot go outside unless you guys got to unless it's an emergency, you got to pick up supplies or groceries or whatnot, right?
Yeah, we're at what's called an in-shelter lockdown, which basically everybody is required to stay inside unless you need to go get essential supplies, food. You're allowed to go take a walk if you want to get some exercise, but nothing crazy. Yeah. So all non-essential businesses have been forced to close.
Is everyone complying or no over there?
I mean, I think so for the most part. I was just out earlier to get some food, but there weren't a lot of cars on the road. Yeah. There was a long line of In-N-Out though. In the drive-thru.
When did well, not everyone complying, huh? So when did you guys all close? When did you guys end up closing? And I actually want to know what was the deciding factor to make you guys close. What triggered your response to say, yeah, I gotta close? You know what I mean?
Okay, well, I closed. We're only open on the weekends to the public, and we have, during the week we have private events and things like that. But I basically closed to the public right before last weekend, so I didn't open on Friday. And it was kind of one of those decisions where I thought maybe I would open, but try to keep it as safe as possible for everybody. And then as you start learning more and more things about how people are affected, how Italy's doing, and what we need to do to make sure that, hospitals aren't inundated, healthcare workers are safe, you start to realize that your, only option is to close. Right. That's really the only way that you can keep people safe. So I did that last week.
And then what about you, Evil? Evil, you got like a ton of that's a big undertaking to close all those.
It is. And so my wife and I just went about and called every employee personally one by one and just asked them, are you comfortable to work? How do you feel? Are you healthy? And everyone wanted to work. In this industry, if you're not working, you're not making tips and you're not getting paid. So that was everyone's like first worry, was whether they could feed themselves.
As a business owner, as you guys as business owners, do you care about? I mean, I know you guys got to juggle two things, right? You got to juggle the safety of, I mean, more than two things. You got to juggle the safety of your employees, the safeties of the customers.
Totally, and then just the safety of like people at large and
Right.
at-risk populations that we don't even know, but we could be passing it on to by being open.
Mm-hmm.
So on Sunday, my business partner, one of my places, he actually has 20 restaurants, and he hit me up and was like, I think I need to close. I went out last night and I went to a couple of my spots, and they were packed like shoulder to shoulder, and like people are just like not taking this shit seriously. So it's on us. If the government's not going to step in, we have to step in. And I was like, I'm with you. So
yeah,
I just started calling everyone and was like, yo, we have emergency unemployment insurance set up, and we have to just like shut down immediately and try to get our workers paid as quickly as possible, but also try to get everyone else to close down, because the governor like sat on her hands for 48 more hours and didn't close everyone down. So
right.
It was kind of a crazy developing situation.
So when did you guys exactly close, or when did you guys like pretty much finish everything?
Sunday.
On
Sunday. Yeah.
Wow. Crazy. And what about you, Nugget, man? What was going on in Pittsburgh?
So this past weekend, it was really crazy for us, because it's like the busiest weekend of the whole year in the city. It's St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Oh yeah.
We have like one of the biggest St. Patrick's Day weekends in the whole country. And we kept getting conflicting advice from the city, and obviously the federal government wasn't doing anything.
Right.
So when the city gave us the thumbs up to stay open, we stayed open. But on Sunday morning when we woke up, we realized real quick that we were going to have to close. So we closed everything on Sunday.
Yeah. How was that logistically? Was that a big thing? And, how was that decision for you guys?
Oh, yeah, it's huge. I mean, I'm sure all these guys know. I mean, the amount of overhead that you have, and then shutting down and unemployment and everything that comes along with it. Right. It's a nightmare. I mean, we're still taking it day to day,
Yeah, because like a bar staff, like a nightclub staff, it's it's really like a tight, close family, right? Knowing that you have to like protect your business, like how much can you do for these guys? You don't, you basically just got to let them go and let them collect unemployment, right? That's the most you can do.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, there's a bunch of programs getting put into place in Pittsburgh. I'm sure you guys are seeing this too in your cities, but there's a bunch of different restaurants and places coming together now, and chefs and different people in the industry coming together to provide service industry people with free meals, free deliveries for meals, almost like food drive stuff too, which is great to see. Mm-hmm. And it seems like more and more is popping up every day.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't understand that even when they're collecting unemployment, the business is paying for like half of that. Because when I had a retail brick and mortar, we had unemployment, I was still paying half of their check. Yeah, and sometimes they just think it magically comes from the government. Right. As of right now, what kind of support are you guys getting from the government? Because I know it can be nerve-wracking, because you're looking. I mean, are you guys worried about like paying rent? Is there any conversations about utilities or taxes or any, you know what I'm saying? Like property taxes or anything that you guys have to like pay for and deal with right now? Or you guys kind of like, I think the city's going to take care of it.
Well, for us in Portland, I'm lobbying the mayor and the governor to put some programs in place to try to mitigate that, because as of right now, nobody's really stepped up, unless you're like an airline or a cruise industry or whatever they deem too big to fail. But service industry people in the gig economy have been mostly ignored so far. So I feel like I'm just trying to be as loud as possible to be heard for that.
That's the same thing in San Francisco as well. I think everywhere I think it's too early to know exactly how we're going to be helped by the government. But we have, people that are working on it, trying to get together to lobby the city and state government to help us. But as far as, our overhead goes, I mean, everything's due. I mean, we're fortunate, at least at Bruno's, that we actually own the building, but, we still have a mortgage and all these other things that, we're going to have to try to refinance, maybe take some equity out to help pay for things. As I was saying earlier, maybe we can use this time to maybe do a little just light remodeling, just to make sure that we actually do our best to take advantage of the situation. As of now, we're not getting any assistance from the government at all.
So you guys being DJs and stuff, did you guys have to send the email out to all your DJs and let them know that all their gigs are canceled and stuff like that? How would like did you guys feel anything when you sent that email? Like being a DJ, like, oh fuck, this is gonna suck.
I think most DJs expected it by the time that I had conversations with them, you know.
Yeah.
But really, I really just had to speak to the DJs that I canceled for last weekend. So, and you know, I've spoken to all of them off and on. I've been communicating with all of them, but I think everybody's just expected it for the most part.
What about you What about you, Nugget?
Yeah, it was terrible. You know, we work with like every local DJ pretty much between both our spots. Yeah, sending that text out on Sunday to everybody one by one wasn't fun at all. You know, I kind of let the guys that I'm super close with in on it a little bit early, like late before last weekend started. I said, you know, this is already starting to seem like it's going to get way out of control. And I said, go stock up your cribs and, you know, get yourself some food, because I know some of the guys don't take care of themselves too well, to be perfectly honest with you. But yeah, sending the text out on Sunday to all the DJs that have residencies at both my spots wasn't fun. And then we also work with a ton of promoters too that still had out of town guests lined up that hadn't canceled. As recent as this Friday, we had a big show, like an electronic music show from two guys from Chicago, and I kept waiting for them to pull the plug on it on Sunday, and no one ever said anything to me. So I had to reach out to the promoters and basically say like, hey, you know, this is looking like we're going to have to shut everything down, so you might want to reach out to all your connects.
And is there insurance to cover that shit, kind of, or not really?
Hell no. I've already gotten denied. Like, they're like, hey, sorry, we have a virus exclusion. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what do I pay you guys for?
I saw you post. I saw you post something like that, Chris. Right? About a clause.
Yeah, I posted the. Actually, I posted the page out of our policy that deals with that.
Wow.
You know, we pay for loss of income for any catastrophe, except there is a virus exclusion, and that's it. That's apparently a common exclusion in a commercial policy. So, you know, I mean, insurance companies are smart. They're going to do everything they can to find a way not to pay.
You know, having been a DJ, all of you guys, all of you guys still DJ in the clubs that you're at, or pretty much.
Yeah.
Are you guys opening and closing, headlining, or how does that work now? Do you guys even want to headline anymore? Like, no. No, just like, are you guys? I know. What do you call it, Chris? You open. That's like your slot, the opening slot, a little bit, right?
I love that.
He kills it.
Yeah.
Oh, that shit is so fun.
You can't take it away from me.
Yeah.
The last time, actually, Evil One was at Bruno's. We just tag team all night, had the best time.
Hey, okay.
And that's basically what I mean. You know, Bruno's is not really your typical like huge nightclub or anything like that. It's more of just like a really large bar with DJs. So we kind of have I really want the guests to know that it's very open, and, you know, the DJs to know that they can pretty much do whatever they want as long as they're having a good time and the crowd's having a good time. So, I actually do enjoy, you know, spinning at my own place. I'll go all night. I typically don't, because I try to give as much work to DJs as possible, but we're always just having a good time. So I still love DJing.
Nugget, I still see you on the wheels. I see you doing that shit.
I'm still playing.
You're headlining though. You're putting yourself in the headline spot a little bit. Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
He paid the cost. Yeah, hell yeah.
It happens sometimes, but like, yeah, I had a gig this past week where it was actually on Saturday, and the headliner on St. Patrick's Day is a local guy, but he just had a newborn baby, and he hit me up pretty last minute and was like, dude, I'm not going to be able to make it in. And I was like, it's cool. I was like, you're lucky because I'm in the club and I can DJ for you. So it doesn't really matter.
Totally.
It's not bad. Have you guys done that before? Have you guys like had to cover your nights last minute and just be like, yeah, no problem, I'll just fucking spin?
Totally.
Yeah.
I'll play all night, like maybe like 3 nights a month.
Yeah.
I don't have it in me like I used to be when I was a younger fellow, but I still like to get out there and do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys are still like payrolling yourselves out, kind of 1099 yourselves, or what? How does that work?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm an independent contractor in my own place.
Absolutely.
Is that what you guys are doing? Oh man, you guys are taking it from both sides now, man. It's like a fucking double team.
Hey yo.
So
absolutely. It's weird because I always felt like multifaceted and I have so many streams of income, but everything that as far as, DJing and being a business owner, a consultant, owning a nightclub, and also my graphic design work, all of that's done. So I'm basically incomeless for however long this lasts for.
Yeah.
I've put all my eggs into the
Same
basket.
How does that feel? Like I am, me myself, I got the podcast, I DJ, I do some consulting design work, and then I got new, and then I do a lot of shit. And then when this happened and I canceled my gigs this past weekend, I kind of felt like I didn't want to do anything. And it was like kind of a nice feeling to just not do anything, because being business owners, you guys never have like a weekend. Do you know what I mean? Like
Ever.
we don't have days off. Even when I remember when I had the brick and mortar store, like, people would call in sick. Like I could never call in sick. Like you guys we can't call in sick. You know what I mean? So
totally.
So I feel like when this all happened and I had the weekend and, I was like, wow, this is kind of amazing, because I don't think any of us would ever have this much downtime ever.
That's true.
To kind of do whatever we wanted and to spend time with, you guys, with your family. Go ahead.
We can do whatever we want as long as we don't leave the house. It's kind of it's like we have all the free time in the world right now, but like we're so limited on what we can do. I think you just got to make the most out of every situation. So it's like, we can't really control this. Like why like sit around and mourn when you can just, look to the future and try to be positive.
I'm spending as much time with my wife as possible, which is really nice because she runs the businesses with me, and half the time her and I are split and running around like crazy people. So it's been nice. It's been chill. And then, the reality of the situation sets in and you're like, oh shit, I still have all these bills piling up right now and no income coming in. It's like, I try to be as optimistic about it as I can, and I'm enjoying it right now, but we're only on really day 3. Here anyway for the quarantine. Yeah. So, I'm not gonna lie, it's nice. Like yesterday we were working on like a new cocktail menu and making drinks at the house. Like we never do that. We don't even have liquor at our house half the time.
Yeah.
As of now, I mean, I have kind of been enjoying being lazy and just hanging out with the kids and watching movies and stuff. But I know that, I mean, like Meg was just saying, it's only day 3 for us. Like, and I know I'm just gonna get sick of it. I'm going to get like stir crazy. So I have no clue what I'm going to do. I mean, I have a lot of different interests, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if every morning I wake up and start day trading or something like that, just to mess around. But I don't know. I have no clue right now. And I don't think it's necessarily important to know what we're going to do at this point.
I think it's funny that all you guys are pretty much actively, you guys are business owners, but you're actively in the DJ community. You guys never left, like Chris and, Eric, I see you on Twitter a lot, you guys have a lot of opinions.
Lighting fools up.
Yeah. You guys are throwing a lot of shit out there. And I'm kind of saying being a DJ and then being a business owner and then looking at these other DJs and how, having to I don't know if you're managing them, but basically monitoring them and scheduling them, how is that now? Do you see it differently? Do you just see them like, oh my God, look at these fucking guys? Or
no, for me, it's like all of my rooms are a different size and I know which ones will make me the most money at each place. So I always schedule them according to who is going to make me the most money. I hate to make it sound like that, but it's like my dude Phenom, who moved out here from Chicago.
Yeah. Great DJ.
A great DJ. He's the dude that if a night's slow, I'll move him over there and I know it'll get busier. So it's I kind of move around like chess pieces to try to, maximize the revenue.
That's crazy. What about
you always say, Eric, that there's not that many good DJs in Portland, right?
I mean, there's actually a lot of really good DJs in Portland, but everyone has a certain niche that they're really good at, and it's a guy like Phenom can play EDM or hip hop and kill it, or open format 80s 90s, whatever. DJs that can do that, there weren't really venues here for people to come up doing that. So I feel like that stunted the growth of a lot of guys, where it's there's really good house DJs, there's really good hip hop DJs, but being able to cross over has been tough.
What about you, Nugget? How's it managing and juggling all these DJs and having to deal with riders and shit? Is it
riders? Everybody here has a rider.
Yeah.
You get the S9.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. They get the S9 no matter what. Yeah, I mean, they're psyched to get, a handful of drink tokens and bring their friends in and have some drinks, which is great. You know what I mean? But like I said, most of them, Pittsburgh's so small, most of them were my friends before I even opened the spots. So,
Right.
but I agree with Evil too. You know what I mean? Like I have guys that do certain things really well, and I have other guys that do other things really well. And, the nightclub is the nightclub. We're more of just pretty much a mainstream nightclub. If we're doing something really off the wall or different, like we do a lot of EDM shows, but I work with outside promoters for those. So they kind of bring their own people in for those. And it's like a world that now I'm getting kind of more absorbed in and I'm learning a lot more about, which is cool. But my other bar, Goldmark, it's kind of something different every night. And on the weekends, it's just open format. So on the weekends, to be perfectly honest, like on the weekends, we make most of our money on the weekends. And the guys that I have booked there on Friday and Saturday night are the guys that they can, just like Evil was saying, they can hit anything. They can kind of feel out a crowd. That's the most important thing to me on the weekends. Can you read a room? Sometimes we get groups of kids from Carnegie Mellon University on a Friday that all they want to hear is house music, and I have guys that can do that. You know what I mean? But then they can switch it on a dime and play hip hop, which is good. But yeah, I mean, to get back to your question, yeah, I'm pretty much still really close with all the DJs here, and we're like a big family here. So
Where do you think this is gonna go? How long do you think it's gonna last in your city? Because I think Vegas, to me, in my opinion, I said this in the last episode. I think Vegas is gonna get through it a little bit quicker. It's a smaller city, smaller population. Once the strip is shut down, I mean, we're so spread out here that I feel like we can contain it here rather quickly. But I want to know, like, San Francisco, Portland, Pittsburgh. I mean, when do you think you guys are going to be in the clear? And then I also think there's going to be, I don't know, about a month or two before people feel comfortable going back out again, and then feeling comfortable and getting back into business. And then is the money going to be spent like it was before? Are people going to have the funds to go out like that? What's going to have to change, do you think, in the scene? You know what I mean? I just kind of want to see what you guys are projecting in the next 6 months or 8 months or a year for the rest of the year.
I mean, if you look at like who goes out to bars a lot, it's service industry people, and they're laid off from work right now, sitting up, not making money. So yeah, it's going to take a while for everything to ramp back up. Schools here are closed until May, so I feel like we have at least 6 more weeks of bars being closed too, and then after that, probably another month or two. So it'll probably be July, August before things even sort of look like normal, which is a long fucking time.
You think that it might happen a little quicker in San Francisco, or what? What do you think, Chris?
Possibly. I mean, I think that what's considered safe will be determined by the government and what they let us do. As far as getting back into business, part of I think a majority of the people that work in San Francisco, even though there's a lot of service industry workers that aren't getting paid, a majority are still people that are still getting paid right now and have a salary. I think that they'll probably be really itching to go back out as soon as, say, that I'm able to reopen. But I don't necessarily know if it's how good it's going to be. I may have to lower prices on drinks or whatever. I mean, we're projected to have like a 20% unemployment rate, which is pretty close to what it was for the Great Depression. So there's absolutely no way of knowing how it's going to be when we start easing back into it.
But I think it's interesting what you just said, though, that your city is a tech city. So a lot of people can work remotely, whereas a lot of other cities, they'd be completely, unemployed. You know what I mean? So you guys might pick up a little bit quicker than others.
That's true. Yeah, we might pick up a little bit quicker, but I know that a huge amount of the businesses that are closed will probably not be able to reopen.
Right.
Some of the bars, restaurants, clubs, they won't have the funds to do it. It'll be really hard for them to do that. So
that's the scary thing, right?
Yeah, it is.
Wow. And then what about you in Pittsburgh over there, Nugget?
So I don't know. Like, I wish that I could get a gauge on, what was going on in China now, since they made all of their, huge quarantine decisions and where they're at right now. But I got to be honest with you, we're kind of preparing for the worst. I think we're going to feel this for at least a year. I'm not saying that we won't be open in a few months, maybe, hopefully, but I think as far as people going out, I mean, I'm seeing like devastating impacts here on people that I know. I mean, my wife and I, the first night, whenever we closed, we were already having discussions about, and we're lucky because Pittsburgh's relatively cheap. Like, we own the building that our first bar is in. We have tenants that live above it. That helps significantly with the mortgage there. But our club is a lease and it's not cheap. And
right.
We were already having discussions like, okay, how long can we keep, paying this overhead without having a serious discussion with my landlord there? And I'm lucky too, because I know my landlord there, and he will probably be cool enough to maybe give us a break.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a really bad feeling that this is going to last for a really long time. And the other thing that's crazy that really is bothering us here is that, so Pittsburgh is in Allegheny County, and the governor of Pennsylvania shut down Allegheny County, so all the businesses are closed. So 5 miles from here is another county. They're wide open. That's where my brother lives and my family. That's where I grew up. Every business is still open. People are still out, and it's a huge county. So I just feel like if they're going to shut down one county and it's going to put me back, let's say, they're calling for 2 weeks right now. If I'm already closed for 2 weeks and then they start shutting down other counties because then their counties are getting, it's a mess in their county. Like, how long does this really affect us in every other major city?
Right.
So it's just right now. I think it's a complete clusterfuck, and the federal government really needs to step in.
Right. I think that's what's put everyone in so much jeopardy right now, though. Right. Just the dragging of the feet. No one preparing for the worst, not thinking ahead about anything. Right. And it's affecting every industry. I think it's going to be like a clear reset, and it's a good thing and a bad thing. We were speaking on it on the last episode. Like, it's like almost like a reset for every industry. And we get to kind of dictate how we start it back up again. But I'm also curious to wonder, like, in Asia and China and Korea, they have these thermal temperature guns, Yeah. And I'm wondering if that's going to be having to be a consideration for security, checking ID, checking everyone's temperature, and then letting them in. Just like keeping, and it might just be for window dressing, you know what I mean?
It certainly will. Actually.
Totally.
But it's one of those things that'll make everyone feel safer in your establishments to be like, yo, like, there's no one in here with a temperature over like 100 degrees, whatever. So it's just like, so I'm wondering if that's going to be in place, and then, even just like shaking hands anymore, like if we're not going to just be like, even just in social situations, if it's not going to be the norm anymore,
This shit sucks for literally everyone. I think we all just need to know that, like, we're all in this together, like, and just let's be extra kind to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, let's be kind and let's be cautious. It's like what we were talking about before. It's what Nugget was talking about, especially with one area could be shut down and another's not shut down. I think the worst part is that we're not, as a country, really like acting in unison with what we're supposed to be doing. Because really, everybody should be staying inside, and nobody should be socializing in groups at all. That's the only way that we're going to be able to be over this quicker rather than much later.
I know, just kind of realizing how selfish we are as a country, right? How you know what I mean? It's kind of crazy.
Totally.
Just everyone knowing what's going on. Just there's still people at the beach. There's still people like chilling, going out. Like you just said, Chris. There's a line for In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah.
Like
Kid Rock is still throwing parties.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know what is going on. They just think it's like it's really crazy.
Terrible, yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like the part of the reason that people are acting like that because they really haven't seen the impact yet, and I feel like this is going to be the telling week. I would assume where, it's terrible to say, but people are going to start passing. We're going to see way more cases come out.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing too. Like, are you guys in your cities? Do you have the tests?
No.
No one has
nothing here. Yeah. I mean, one of my bartenders is a registered nurse at one of the biggest hospitals in town, and I've been talking to her every day, and I'm like, do you guys have tests, or are there tests coming in? No, there's nothing. She just keeps telling me that we still have nothing.
It takes like 3 days to get your results here in Vegas. I don't know if it's like that everywhere else, but it's crazy.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But just getting the test is not an easy thing either.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the first thing. I think it's going to take months for us to even get the tests. And that's the scary shit is once people start getting the tests, you're going to be like, holy shit, this is everywhere.
There's way more people than we know of that have it. I mean, anybody can have it. Like, I could have it. I feel fine, but I could totally have it, you know.
For sure. Yeah. Yep.
So we just don't know. That's the reason why the social distancing is extremely important, at least for the next couple weeks.
Yeah. I think it's at least, that's, I was talking to my guys for the podcast, and I was just like, look, let's just, like self-quarantine ourselves for 2 weeks, see if there's any symptoms that pop up. And then honestly, after 2-3 weeks, if we're good, I don't mind in a safe way gathering to do the podcast. You know what I'm saying? But we all got to be responsible about it. Like, the last thing I want to do is just like start recording together and have one of us like get deathly ill or something, you know?
Yeah, man.
But guys, you know what? I thank you guys so much for kind of like taking time out of your not so busy schedule to sit with me and do this shit.
We're gonna do it again tomorrow.
Seriously, let's do it.
But I remember someone tweeted out. They're like, "Hey, you should." Who tweeted that out? They're like, "You got to get Chris."
Oh boy, Mark.
Mark, yeah, he was like, "Yeah, you got to get Chris. You got to get Nugget, and you got to get Eric." And then a week later, here we are. But I definitely want us in person one day so we can just kind of shoot the shit about less important things and start shitting on requesters and all of these things that us DJs should be talking about, kind of,
I'm with it.
Yeah. But love you guys, man. Thank you so much, man.
You too.
For coming
Thanks,
on the
man.
show, man.
Stay safe.
Yeah.
Thanks for this.
Love you guys.
Peace,
Take
man.
care.
Hey, yo, big shout Evil One, big shout Nugget, big shout to Chris at Bruno's. I really appreciate you guys sitting down to speak with us. I want to circle back to Las Vegas now. I actually want to talk to some of the people in the service industry. My homegirl Belle. I'm going to call her Belle for now. That's not her real name, but I'm going to hit her up. She's been a bartender in Las Vegas since I moved out here in 2005. She's from Las Vegas. She's worked in the service industry pretty much all of her life. And I'm going to hit her up and kind of see what her perspective on everything is. All right, so I got Belle on the line. I got her here via satellite, I guess. So you're currently not working, and you've pretty much been in the service industry in Las Vegas for the past, 15 plus years, right?
Yes.
You bounced around from lounges to bars to clubs, restaurants, and so forth. Even did like, day pools and so on. So you've seen almost every aspect of Las Vegas in the service industry, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, sounds like I get around, but jeez. But yeah, I've worked in the industry for a while.
Have you ever seen anything like this before? Never encountered.
I've never seen the casinos close other than like major incidents. And even then it was hours, not days and weeks or unknown amount of time.
When was the last time you saw something like this, like an actual, like an epidemic or a disaster that affected the city like this? Was it 9/11 possibly or no?
9/11 was probably the last time they did major layoffs. It was very similar to what they did now. Well, it wasn't as drastic, but it was similar where they did huge layoffs, and it took a long time for the city to get back to full strength. But
right,
it's Vegas. We'll do it.
But we've never seen anything like this. Like Tao Group just laid off all their hourly staff nationwide at all their properties. And then Hakkasan Group laid off like 1,600, right? Everyone needs to be part of a union, like a bar union, right? Before they can even work for a nightclub, a casino, or how does that work?
No, not at all. I mean, there's union staff and there's not union staff. It just depends on what hotel and what venue you're at. And I'm not sure if a union benefits you one way or another until times like this.
But how does a union help right now? What can a union do?
They give you help with, say, your power bill or your electricity, or if you need help routing that with whether you need things to stay turned on or financial aid or whatnot. They definitely help you with that. And the way the casinos and hotels and employers go about layoffs and rehiring from layoff or being fired. The way my hotel did it, when we came in, they called us into a meeting. 100% of the union staff, which includes housekeeping, bussers, waitresses, cocktail waitresses, food servers, hostesses, 90% of the people in every casino.
Right.
Called us in and they laid everybody off 100%, from full-time shift people, part-time shift people, to extra board, to anybody that is union. And though at that point the casinos were still open, but it was the fairest way to do it because the casino obviously didn't need 100% of their full-time staff on, because the hotels were looking at a occupancy rate of dropping of what should have been the best month of the year to a ghost town.
There was rumors that they were at like below 7% occupancy in the hotels and stuff, which is unheard of, right?
I've never heard of anything like that low.
So then you guys were all hauled into this room. You guys met with them. You guys get a severance, like 2-week severance or anything?
This is all unprecedented, right? So we don't know. In our union contract, we've never fought for things such as when they lay off 100% of the staff.
Right.
We need some sort of a notice or a buffer so the union fought for them too. And it's still an ongoing battle with the union and the employers. But right now they're paying full-time employees 2 weeks extra pay, that we've been laid off without working. And then you can always take your earned vacation time and add that to your paychecks just so you have a buffer of your income. And
then you can always go for unemployment, which is what I'm sure that they were pushing for you guys to do.
Sure. But once you get your unemployment, you can't double dip. You can't claim the hours that they're paying you and then unemployment. But honestly, I've been laid off since the 15th. So it's been a full week and I've gone online. I can't even get through to unemployment to even register or get online.
It's like tens of thousands, if not maybe 100,000 or more, calling unemployment all at once.
Yeah, it's definitely in well into the six figures. In Nevada, our unemployment rate is, Depression era.
Right.
You have more than half the city on layoff status, that's the worst part. Do we really complain about not being able to get unemployment when there's people sick and dying, Right.
So then what is your plan for now? Just to wait it out and see what happens and wait so you can get back to work? Or
like you said, I've been in my venue and in my position for quite a while. So I'm high up on the seniority. So per our collective bargaining agreement, our union, they'll bring back people in seniority. So I happen to be a lucky one and high enough where I'll come back pretty quick once we get back up and running, if and when, you know. So I just have to wait it out, just like everybody. Everybody's in the same boat. Nobody has money coming in. The city's not making money. Nobody's flying. We need the airports up and running, and so we need people to get healthy enough to be able to travel and have the money to travel. So we'll see how long it takes Vegas to come back from this.
Is there any spite? I mean, a lot of the workforce is pissed off at what's going on, but they can't really blame the hotels for what's going on, right?
I think the worst part is the unknown factor. How long is it going to be? 2 weeks? Is it going to be May 1st or is it going to be June, July? The government doesn't know. We don't know. Nobody really knows.
A lot of people were saying that this was the casinos and hotels' ways of downsizing and leaning up a little bit. Take the next few months and revisit literally every department, every section of the casino and their operations, and finding a way to automate it somehow so they don't have to hire as many people back. And there was rumors that Caesars was actually thinking of redoing their whole front desk procedures and putting up automated machines.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that would be our way to do it. Like if it was my company, why wouldn't you? That's been happening. So it's been more and more automated, even down to the cocktail waitresses that are at the gaming tables. Those cocktail waitresses all have automated bartenders. They did away with the bartenders and all the service. So
what do you mean? Yeah. What do you mean automated bartenders?
Oh yeah, it's like those soda machines you see in like a deli or something where they have Coca-Cola and you can make it like 1,000 different flavors or ways.
They have that for liquor and shit? Like,
yeah.
Really?
How did you hear about this? Yeah, last year they started putting these in all the properties at MGM and Mirage, and they did away with more than half their bar staff. Only on the front bars in hotels and casinos have bartenders. Otherwise, the waitresses go in the back, fill up a glass of ice, put the glass of ice underneath this machine, just like a soda machine, and pick, soda, Crown and Coke, or whatever it is.
I didn't know that. Wow.
The amount of liquor is cut back, everything. So it's, and I can't even say that it's, bad business. Like it's not even the casino's fault. Like how could you not take that opportunity when you can, you know?
So as of right now, I mean, you've got savings, you're okay.
I mean, like I said, I don't know about everyone else. I'm okay. Personally, I'm okay. I've saved and have this. And sure, I mean, nobody wants to spend their retirement or their savings on, something like this. Think about somebody that's older than me that is ready to retire, but most of their retirement fund is in the stocks and things like that, where it's going to take them another 10, 15 years to rebound their retirement money. That, if they've even been lucky enough to have money in retirement, what about those people? Those people are going to be a part of the workforce now another 10 years or 20 years. I feel like everybody's in the same boat. It's, it's not just Vegas. It's not just us. And yeah, is it a little, I feel a little more shady in Vegas because it's Vegas, but I don't know. I just think shit happens. See how it goes.
All right. Thanks, Belle. I appreciate it.
All right.
All right. Hey, yo, big shout out to Belle. I appreciate you speaking with me, quote unquote, Belle. It's not her real name, but thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I kind of want to talk to a homegirl of mine who's a dancer for a strip club out here in Las Vegas, a pretty prestigious strip club out here in Las Vegas that recently shut down. I mean, a lot of them shut down. But let me call up my homegirl. Let's call her Tiffany for now, quote unquote Tiffany. All right, so I'm on the line with Tiffany, right?
Correct.
Tiffany is a dancer at one of the more well-known, prestigious Las Vegas strip clubs out here. And currently, everything's shut down. And it shut down last week, right, Tiffany? Around then?
Correct.
Right. And
Correct.
you actually worked the last weekend, and you said it was crazy. It was busy.
It was crazy packed, like more packed than I've seen in a while.
Really? So I
Yeah.
have a question. Was it the club's choice to shut down, or was the city telling them to kind of shut down?
The city enforced them to shut down.
In particular?
Yes.
So what did they do? Did they put y'all did they have a group meeting with everyone and tell everyone?
They had a group meeting.
How many dancers are at the strip club?
So we work in shifts.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say like on my shift, there's probably between about 300 and 400 on my shift.
300 to 400 in your shift. And how many shifts in the day? 3?
There's 3 shifts.
So give or take 1,500 to 2,000 girls altogether?
Correct.
Oh, shit. So they didn't meet with all 2,000 of y'all, did they?
No. They just did like a meeting with the management. So probably about like 20 people.
Yeah.
Like including the bouncers and whatnot and hosts. And they just shut it down.
Oh, shit. So then how did they inform you guys?
I actually heard from another dancer and then I texted one of the managers just to confirm, and he confirmed that they were shut, and we don't know until when.
Oh, so there wasn't like an email that went out? There wasn't anything official?
No, I didn't get an email.
Are you serious?
I did not get an email.
I got a crazy question though. If they still stayed open, would you still be working?
I absolutely would.
Even though there's this whole coronavirus going on?
I worked the weekend before, and there was like massive people in there, and here I am.
And you're feeling
corona free.
So you'd still be working. Do you think people still would have showed up? They would have.
Yes, absolutely. I think people would be in there right now.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
What is your thoughts on all of this shit? Obviously you would keep working because you want the money, right?
I would keep working because I want the money, and I just believe that if I can go to Target or a grocery store,
right,
and all the nasty stuff I see at the grocery stores, now I've been paying more attention, just like watching everything. Like I see people don't cough, or they'll cough, don't cover their mouth, pick up stuff, look at it, put it back. I see people's kids running around, coughing, not covering their mouths, touching everything, putting their hands down aisles, and like all the products. So if I can do that, I can definitely work.
So you think if you like covered if you guys wore like masks, y'all would have been all right?
I don't even think we would have to wear masks.
Really? You think if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen regardless?
I think exactly. I think if it's meant for you to catch corona, you're gonna catch corona. But you should also take. I didn't really need the coronavirus to teach me to wash my hands. I always every purse I own, I have hand sanitizer in it. I have wipes. Like I use antibacterial body wash. I've been using like literally my whole life, so nothing's changed for me. Other people just now are getting clean.
I just think in the midst of it all, I think it's everyone sees the strip club as like kind of like, there's a lot more physical touching, a lot of more close interaction.
Like I said, I agree, but if you can go to Target and just observe, go to Target today.
Yeah, but I'm not standing. No, like everyone's supposed to maintain the social distancing. It's hard
They
to do
don't.
social distancing. They're not doing it. Are you and the other dancers? Are y'all all like basically a tight knit? Maybe not all of y'all, right?
No.
There's no unity.
Absolutely not.
There's no unity between y'all. Like no,
Every bitch for herself.
really.
Yeah,
Come on.
I mean,
y'all gotta have
I'm
like
being
little.
dead serious.
Yeah.
There is cliques.
Yeah.
There is cliques. I personally don't like to roll in cliques. I work better alone. But there is cliques, and there's like there's a lot of hate. You would think that it would be a lot more unity, but it's not.
So the only reason why I asked this is because were there some that were in favor of working and some that were like, yo, we need to close. This isn't safe.
I think everyone. Actually, I'm not going to say everyone. I'm going to say about 60% were in favor of still working.
Oh, so it's still a little 50-50, right? Some people were like, yo, we should close. This isn't safe. With you guys not working and you're not sure when this is all going to be over, what's your plan?
Well, right now, my plan is just to not spend my savings.
Yeah. So you guys, it's a given that all of y'all have savings, right? Or do some of the dancers like?
I would hope that all do. There's probably a lot that don't.
Right.
My savings is not exactly what I would like it to be right now, but hopefully, it gets me through.
So I got a question because, like, you seen that movie Hustlers?
Yes.
With Jennifer Lopez, right?
I have.
And Constance Wu, I think her name is. So, like, in that movie, those girls, when the economy fell, right? They had to resort to kind of like escort service, prostitution,
robbery,
and all of that shit. Do you see any dances or anything moving towards from dancing to like prostitution, escort, or like what is that called? Open fan? What is it? Open fan?
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
Well, I'm gonna just say I will participate in all of the above.
You will.
If it gets to that level.
Yeah. So you
just never know. Hopefully not.
So you are comfortable like escorting or doing some like, would you guys call it prostitution or is it?
I don't know. I've never had to go that route, but I just hope it doesn't get to that.
But you're saying,
I hope we open soon.
So it has lingered in your mind that might have to be a possibility to earn a living. Mm-hmm. And that's troubling, obviously, for you, right?
It is.
It is. But you'd rather go that route? I mean, like, you think that route is still going to be something that you'd want to do even with this coronavirus? Like, let's say it gets worse and it spreads out. You'll take your chances?
There's a lot worse things than coronavirus. If, let's say I did catch coronavirus, I have a high chance of beating it. Mm-hmm. Because I'm young and I have a pretty good immune system. There's a lot of other things you can catch, like AIDS.
Right.
Herpes, hepatitis, like.
So it's just another thing for you.
Yeah.
It's just another like.
I mean, well, no, technically it's not part of the job for me, but I mean, if I were to take the next level, yeah, it would be part of the job.
Are there a lot of like dancers who think similar to you?
For sure.
Yeah. So when do you think it'll start having to get to that point? Do you think if this moves on towards like August, September?
Yeah, if it hits like August, September, especially with like everything closed, like a lot of other jobs, nobody's hiring right now. Like,
right.
It would be a bad situation.
So I have a question. Did you dance in LA when you were in LA?
I did.
I mean, how different is LA from Vegas? Very different, right?
The club that I worked at in LA was like more a cabaret.
Oh, okay.
More of like a staged club. Mm-hmm. The club in Vegas is like gentleman's club. It's selling private rooms. It's just totally different. Like LA was high school. This is college.
Okay, wait, explain. Because LA is it more like dollar bills, like stage pole dancing?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And then Vegas, you would say it's more of like, why would you say it's college?
Because you have to really like manipulate and sell a fantasy and just manipulate someone into getting into the private room. That's where the money's at versus LA. You're dancing on a stage. It's inevitable that people are just going to throw money up there. Right. That's like the LA culture. It's similar to like Atlanta. Vegas, it's like conservative ass white men that are not about that life.
Right.
They want to talk to somebody and hang out and like in the hopes of thinking like they're going to take you back to their hotel.
All right. So you just have to build that fantasy that there's a
Exactly.
possibility of them smashing at the end of the night, pretty much.
100%.
Now, have you ever met a client that you kind of engaged with and you were like, oh, I'm kind of feeling him, and he propositions you like, you know what, can you come back to the hotel with me and I'll pay you blah, 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 and you're just like, you know what, fuck it. Or you're kind of like, nah, I don't really cross that line. You smiling? You smiling right now?
I am smiling. I have no comment.
Okay. All right. So then your plan is
I'm gonna wait it out. Just that's all we can do. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully, like everything opens back in April.
in the meantime, would you start like an OnlyFans kind of page just to make some money, just to do?
I don't really know what OnlyFans is.
Right.
Like I don't really understand the concept of that.
I don't really either.
People keep telling me of like, oh, start an OnlyFans. Like,
is that what all the dancers are talking about right now?
That's what every dancer on this planet is talking about right now.
Is OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know what's going on with that.
So in my opinion, if all the dancers are doing that, I shouldn't be doing that. You don't want to do what everybody's doing.
Interesting. So then what would your next step be? What would be the comfortable step? Would it be escorting?
What my next step would be proposition my regulars.
So you have regulars in your contacts that you would hit up. And what would you say, like, what you doing, big head kind of shit? Or
no, I would just be like, tell them the situation.
Oh, and then have them maybe
and just be like, hey, help me out. Yeah. But or Venmo me, Cash App me, whatever. But like, it hasn't came to that yet. Not yet, but.
So will most of them send you or Venmo you or Cash App you money just to literally take care of you with nothing in return? They won't expect anything in return.
Won't expect anything in return.
Really? It'll just be on some like, yo, I got you. You're good.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Interesting. And then let's say, how long do you think that'll last you? I want to see if you're just planning this whole thing out, like as a, you know.
I'm gonna say a few months.
A few months. So
like,
you can probably last till the fall, like August.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then around Christmas time.
Nobody's getting shit for Christmas.
Nothing.
Basically.
Yeah. It'll be rough.
Pretty much.
But hopefully by Christmas everything should be kind of opening back up.
Oh my God. I hope by next month.
You don't think this shit's gonna affect the gentlemen's clubs or the strip clubs like moving forward?
No.
You don't think so?
Hell
Is
no.
there going to be any type of like precautionary like?
Yeah, like I think one of the things I noticed is like they put hand sanitizer like pumps everywhere in the club. Yeah. Like every corner almost. Mm-hmm. So they didn't have that before.
What is your feeling? You're pretty optimistic about what's going to happen, or?
I'm pretty optimistic about it. I think, how can we keep an entire city like Las Vegas, like one of the busiest cities in the country, just shut down this long? Come on.
Look at New York and LA, though. I mean,
I know, but it's only been like a week.
Do you plan to go back to the same spot? Mm-hmm. And there's no hard feelings, right? It is what it is.
It is what it is.
And then you wouldn't want to dance anywhere else. You wouldn't want to go to Miami, Atlanta.
I've never worked in Miami.
I heard it's rough.
That's what I heard too.
Anything else you want to get off your, you know?
I would like to say fuck Corona. That's it.
So you think like the government's overreacting on this shit a little bit, or no?
For sure.
You think so? Wow.
There's not that many deaths. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's just kind of like, I'm not going to say it's the same type of virus as the flu, but it's like you're only at a high risk if you already have like a pre-existing condition, like asthma or like some type of autoimmune situation going on, or you're elderly. So I don't really see why like we're going crazy.
All right, man. Well, Tiffany, thanks for sitting with me and talking with me.
I'll have a good quarantine.
You too.
I will be self-medicating via alcohol.
Really?
Yes. Every day at 6 p.m.
You just came from a hike. You're doing some type of active shit though, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to hike and stay active every day so the body can stay right. So when I do get back in the game, I still look good.
Thanks a lot, Tiff.
Right.
I appreciate it.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, pushing forward. I'm about to hit up the fellas, DJ Neva, DJ D Miles, and Jamie the Great. I'm going to check in with the fellas. Hey, yo, what's good, fellas? What's good? Hey, hey, hey. What's
Man,
up?
my family, what up, what up, what up? I miss y'all, man.
It's been 1 week of quarantine. You guys don't look so bad. It ain't too shabby.
I feel like the initial shock is over.
Exactly. Yeah, we were still in shock about what happened.
Yeah.
What have y'all been doing to keep busy this past week? Anything interesting?
Honestly, man, I just kind of got adjusted. So I haven't left the house in over a week. My downstairs gym is closed. So I just been doing home weight workouts, been cooking a lot more, watching a little TV. And you know what's crazy? I honestly didn't realize how dependent I was on watching sports. Like, I used to come home every day, and that was like my downtime, watching a basketball game, watching Sports Center. Now that shit is dead, bro. Like, so it's just so weird for me to like not be able to watch sports, and I'm just dependent on movies. And literally, ESPN has gotten so bad to where they're showing just old games,
Damn.
like from like years ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's just hella weird, man. Like, I ain't got no Laker game to watch. It's hella weird, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get adjusted, man. But definitely this week is probably gonna be a little better because last week I was in shock, bro. Like, just being in the house like that, I was fucking going crazy. But now I'm kind of used to it. It's cool.
Yeah, I see you trying to do like that whole push-up challenge and shit, you know?
Yeah. No, one of my homies challenged me, and I was like 20 push-ups, whatever. Like,
yo,
try at least up that shit.
Yo, no one wants to watch motherfuckers do push-ups, bro. No one wants to watch that shit.
Man, you challenged us to do 50.
I know why you do 50, man. It's like,
I feel like 20 was easy. We could all do 20, no problem. I'm sure.
I don't know.
That's the point of it, because it's easy.
I'm trying to inspire, man. I'm trying to make us better.
Nah, he got
Coming.
He got that little man complex. That's why. He just be like,
I did. The most I could do was 40, man. That 50 wasn't happening, man.
You killed the 40 though, man.
And I did it 3 times, man.
No one wants to watch that shit. Yo. This motherfucker had like 12 stories of push-ups. I'm like, yo, skip this shit. Like, what the fuck you think? You think this shit is interesting? Actually, I feel like a lot of shorties are horny enough they're gonna watch that shit, right? That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to thirst trap these motherfuckers. You're trying to thirst trap these chicks. That's what it was.
I'm trying to keep it going and inspire people to do some push-ups.
What's up, Jamie? What you been doing? You been stealing cars or anything?
Nah, man. I started the job. I'm plumbing now with my pops.
Oh,
man.
shit.
Oh shit.
Mario and
Super
Luigi
Mario certified.
Yeah.
Mario.
You official.
Mario.
Yeah.
Luigi.
I might.
Mario.
Yeah, man.
How's that shit going, man?
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy because I don't know if people are wiping their ass with Lysol wipes, which you shouldn't be doing, but it's clogging up the main lines from like a lot of buildings.
Oh, yeah.
So it's getting my dad a lot of business.
I've been hearing about that. Everyone's using the Lysol wipes, the disinfectant wipes. But they've been throwing it in the toilet, which they shouldn't be doing. Yeah.
Right.
No, they shouldn't be doing that. So it's causing a lot of main lines. And I don't know if people know what a main line, but the main line is basically the one main line practically that takes all the waste from all the apartments and runs it to the street. Or
so
whatever.
how come you haven't been Instagramming that you've been pulling all these wipes out of the shitholes? You haven't been Instagramming that shit? It's not Instagrammable?
It's not Instagrammable. I'll probably.
What do you mean? I'd rather watch Dad than watch Darren do push-ups.
That's good content, man.
That is good content. I would love to see.
That would be pretty interesting.
I would love to see you with your hands on your hands and knees, like digging through shit and just pulling out.
No.
Like,
okay,
I've never seen nothing like that.
pulling out these disinfectant wipes, just like this shitty.
Yo, I've never seen
this shitty
like that,
disinfectant wipes one by one.
Let me explain what it is. We're not pulling things out, Kirk. So it's this thing called the snake, and you run the snake on the main line, and it basically clears out all the way towards the street. So that's what it basically is. So it backs up, but it smells like shit. My dad's always worn masks when he does the main lines, so it's good work. Yeah, he's basically an essential job. He's an essential business, so he's out there in the street.
How come you're not putting this on Instagram though? Why are you keeping it? Why?
I know
this is like new to us right now, man. We just finding out.
Yeah, I've been like so MIA from our phone. Like I haven't even been texting y'all or anybody.
Because when you clear the main line out, you should be like winning. You should be like, yo, just cleared out this main line, yo. You know, like you don't want to do that shit.
You saving the city.
I'm saving the city one pipeline at a time.
Plum life. Hashtag plum life.
That.
No.
Yeah, I will watch that IG live. I will watch that.
Dude, there's so much competition with IG lives right now, but You know what's crazy? So my dad's always wore the mask, like the one that Cricket is wearing, when he does these type of jobs, because it's a filthy environment. It's very nasty and it smells disgusting. But a lot of the tenants of the buildings that he walks in, like, are giving him dirty looks as if he's infected. And it's more so like protocol. So, you know, a few people from the tenants have been calling his management and his boss, and he's like, "Yo, like, we're scared of this guy," and they're like, "No, it's protocol." Blah 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 blah.
But what do they expect?
Yeah,
they want
I
this shit to
don't
get
know.
fixed. It's gonna fix itself.
Yeah, they think my dad is infected with the coronavirus.
I would actually prefer my plumber to come in with a mask on. At least I know he's like taking care of himself and being precautious.
Yeah, he comes in like with a full, like, you know, he has the gloves on, all that good stuff. So
yeah, man.
Yeah, he's just taking protocol, but it's crazy. It's a lot of hard work.
Does your dad look Asian when he has the mask on?
No, he's being as a kid. His eyebrows are like dark. My dad looks damn nearly Armenian actually with the mask on, but
supposedly there's a lot of racism going on.
Right before everything kind of got to this point, one of my homegirls, the bartender, told me she experienced some racism as a bartender, and like the guy didn't want her to pour his drink.
Was she Asian?
Yeah. And he was like, "Yo, like, I don't trust you. I'd rather you like have another bartender pour my drink." And she felt offended, but she was like, "I kind of get it," but at the same time, the dude was just being an asshole and was just being hella racist in that moment. And she kind of felt the way about it. She was like, "Yo, like, I'm perfectly fine. Like, I'm gonna serve you a drink. It's okay." And he was like, "Nah, you might have the virus. Like, fuck that. Like, give me someone else."
Yeah, I haven't. No one said anything to me, so I wish.
You haven't been out,
huh?
You've been in the house.
You haven't been outside.
Yeah, no one said anything to me in my crib at all. You know, have you guys been checking out all of these IG lives? Like we got to talk about D Nice though, right?
Yo, props to D Nice.
We gotta like D Nice broke the internet. Basically, these past few days, been doing 6 to 9 hour DJ sets on his Instagram Live. Yeah. He had like everybody in there from like Michelle Obama, Oprah Winfrey, Cameron, Joe Biden.
Rihanna was on there.
Rihanna, Drake,
Questlove,
everybody,
Khaled.
every celebrity, every like notable, noteworthy politician, musician, artist, actor, anyone you could think of.
Jessica Alba, Elizabeth Banks,
Justin Timberlake,
Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, everybody was in there, yo.
Everybody's been in there, man.
I think at one point he was. I mean, this is the most views I ever seen on Instagram Live. He had like 150,000 views.
Dude, I saw 200,000.
You did see 200,000? Wow.
Yeah, I was in there when it was like 160, and it just kept rising up to 200,000.
I think he gained. I think he gained like 500,000 followers.
Dude, no, he gained way more than that.
He did, right?
He gained like 900,000 followers. Some crazy number.
Shit.
Yeah, because I remember.
Was he the first? Was he the first one to put up an IG Live DJ set?
No,
I don't know how it caught
people
fire.
been doing it for a while, man. This is nothing new.
Yeah.
Even
some reason
Franzen was doing something like that a few years back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so he was doing it.
Pandora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was playing R&B mix for like 6 hours. He did that last night actually too. I don't know if you guys caught it. He got on there.
Some of it.
I caught a little bit of it.
Drake was in there. Keisha Cole was in there. Yeah, a lot of people are tuning into these lives, man.
I just think that D Nice, I think he's known for just doing a lot of celebrity events, a lot of a lot of Hollywood parties with
He just did Diddy's 50th.
He did Diddy's 50th. Yeah. I think he did like couple Oscar parties.
Yeah. What I liked about his also is that he was playing literally every day. It was something different, and I could tune in, and it would be some songs I had never heard, and I would end up having to Shazam, and I'm like, damn, like this was some dope late 70s, early 80s R&B that I don't even know about.
Yeah,
and it was just for me, it was just really educational to listen to his sets and see what he's playing, because every time I would tune in, it's something completely different.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that.
There was points that he was playing shit that I wish never was next to me. So I could be like, "Yo, what is this?" It's so hard to Shazam and be on the live. And then it was crazy last night when you had Franzen on, Just Blaze on, and D Nice, and even MOS was on at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, how do I tune into all of these shits? It's so crazy, but. It's incredible.
Like the IG Live Wars and shit like that. Yeah,
man.
D Nice was playing. Yeah, D Nice was playing like a bunch of like his catalog. I didn't realize how I guess I forget, but like I didn't realize how deep his catalog was. Like there were classics and soul shit that I was like, oh, what is this? You know?
Well, he's like around the same age as me, so he's just like,
yeah,
that's the shit we grew up on.
Yeah, and he grew up in it, and he was in there. He was like, you know, the DJ for BDP, and then he was obviously rapping and all that shit. And just, you kind of forget about that, but you're like, yo, he was in the industry since a really young age. He was
since like 87.
Yeah, he was knowing he was at all the parties at a young age. He was hearing what was the hottest records at all those years. So like, it's 30, 40 years of just knowledge of music, and I think that with his celebrity outreach, I think it's like the perfect kind of, the perfect like formula, and also the way he was interacting with the camera.
That was made it work. Also,
shouting it out, having fun, drinking some Hennessy, and like, you know, really getting in the mood.
His hats.
Yeah, like I saw some IG lives where like there were dudes that were just like looking down and DJing. And it's kind of like, you kind of got to interact, shout people out.
Yeah,
you know, like talk.
And he kept doing like he was in the club. He'll drop the volume. He'll give a shout out, put the volume back up. So he was really on some club shit. It was crazy. It was amazing.
Yeah. And I respected the fact that he wasn't just shouting out celebrities. Like he had like homies in there, random people that probably were just fans of his. He would shout them out if they would actually even put requests for songs in the timeline, and he would acknowledge the request. Like that was, to me, that was really dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw him give a shout out to Goldfinger, and like, it was great. It was dope. It was dope to see that, man.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, his rate is gonna go up after this, man.
Of course. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was in the front of Yahoo page today. Like he was one of the top stories. Yeah.
I mean,
it's crazy.
I mean, there was big companies like Pepsi, ESPN, NBC, even Instagram commenting in his live. You know, so they're all taking note. Like all of these big corporate events. I think he was on. I think The View mentioned him.
He was on CBS this morning.
Yeah, he was. I mean, dude, the good dude's
gonna
go
viral.
viral.
Interview about Gayle King.
Yeah, that's crazy. Come on, like, people were like, "Yo, you guys should get him on the podcast." I'm like, "Yo, like we gotta wait till
not now.
Not now. We ain't gonna get him on."
We're like 5 people behind.
We might have had a chance before all this happened, but now
I know, man. That's crazy. I was talking to Ross One and Ratican, and I was like, "Yo, this dude after this, if he plays his cards right, he might be the biggest DJ in the country."
Yeah. Well, right now he is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right now, hands down. I mean, yeah, basically.
I don't know about the world, but definitely this country. Like, I think he might be up there with the biggest DJ if he continues to do this.
He definitely is, man.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that, and honestly, that is the best usage of IG Live that I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, I think it ties into what he already had been doing, because he's never been like a big club guy or a big festival guy. Mm-hmm. So the like venues and like the things he does have been more intimate. And I think it played right into the IG Live of it being intimate.
Right.
And it just kind of like was a snowball effect. So now when he's doing these corporate events, like all that shit is going to translate.
It was like a house. It was like a house party. It was like a little intimate quarantine house party that everyone was like, you know, vibing.
And
it's like right now, if you didn't know who he was last week, now everybody gonna know who he is now.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
of this. So
because the times I've seen him live in person have always been smaller events. Like I saw him at an NBA party that he did, and he rocked it. I've seen him at a couple of corporate events here in Vegas during convention time when the conventions are crazy. I've seen him do those. So like that's definitely his lane, is that more intimate setting. So I think for him now it's going to be even crazier, like maybe even tenfold, because I can't even imagine what his rate's going to be after all this shit clears up.
I know.
It's good because that good vibe, house party vibe with that open format, playing classics, reggae, new hip hop, old hip hop, like that genre, that open format genre that he was doing is kind of what that's kind of how we all want to play. You know what I mean?
And that's how we all started.
That's where we all started, exactly. So for me, I think if he's going to lead this wave, I think it's going to help all of us.
Definitely.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, Crooked. I was going to ask,
like,
do you think that's going to open doors? Do you think it's going to be more?
I think it's like, because the thing is this: Calvin Harris, Diplo, a lot of EDM DJs did also an IG Live, right?
Yeah.
They all did Instagram Live. I'm sure they did really good numbers as well. It doesn't compare to D Nice, obviously. You know what I'm saying?
The
but
impact
wasn't close,
right? But if there was a Calvin Harris or Diplo or one of these EDM DJs that were going viral off of this Instagram live, that would be kind of opening the doors and leading another wave of something. But the fact that he was playing like all of these classics and soul music and like R&B, like 90s and like 2000s and hip hop and going all over the place. Maybe that's not something that everyone experiences. You know what I mean? It might be really foreign to them. So I think it's a good step in the right direction. And I think if anyone can lead that, you know, D-Nice could definitely lead that wave. And I think it's perfect. It works out perfect. And I think it's a good thing. It's a new, you know, it's a new feature that is being presented in a different way that no one's ever presented it. Because every time I see an IG live, it's like a viral moment of somebody having a breakdown or like talking shit into the camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like people are just people are in their Instagram live just talking shit into their camera and just like blah, 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 like fuck this guy. And then, you know? Yeah. So
and
like,
also when you see DJs doing videos, they're usually like scratching, cutting it up.
Yeah,
he was just playing fucking good music and getting on the mic.
He wasn't even focused. He wasn't even focused that much on the transitions. It was like echo something out, drop something, and it's honestly like, yo, like it's not all about the transitions. It's the energy, the interaction.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was. It was really fun, and it was good, and it was and it started. You know, like connecting with a lot of people, and I think it inspired a lot of other DJs like Kid Capri got on. Yeah. Just Blaze got on. I think our homie Jerome Baker III was doing his. I think there's a bunch of others, right?
Yeah.
And so I just think MOS, shout to MOS. I just think it's what do you call it? It's one of those things that I think it can turn into something more, because there were some people who had Instagram lives going that got shut down because they were playing licensed music.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but Instagram was actually in support of fucking D-Nice's live.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Because they were even tweeting.
I was curious about that.
Yeah, Instagram was tweeting like "Watch D-Nice" on Instagram Live. They were actually.
And I was thinking, like, how in the hell is he getting away from these copyright laws?
Yeah,
like,
it was one of those things where they Instagram knows, they're like, we rather just like accept this viral moment and support it. Yeah. I don't know, man.
Well, you know, Mark Zuckerberg was on there also.
Oh, he was watching that shit, right?
Yeah.
I heard D-Nice was shouting him out a lot. They were like,
he did. He shouted him out a bunch of times. I happened to be on when he was shouting out Mark Zuckerberg, and I was like, what? Fucking CEO of Facebook is in here? That's crazy.
Yeah, he's going to be doing all those Facebook parties.
Oh, yeah. You already know.
For sure.
That Zuckerberg money? Hey, what up, Zuckerberg? I see you, Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg.
Shout out to Facebook in the building. IG.
Yeah, Zucker to the bird. What's up, Zucker?
Zucker to the bird.
So that corporate money is about to be crazy for him.
Damn, man.
I'm happy for him. That's dope, man.
I know, good for him, man.
I said a Zuckerberg.
You know, like, you know, he definitely didn't. When he started doing it, he probably had no idea it was going to blow up and elevate to the level that it is right now. He probably just had some fun. And that shit took off like wildfire.
See, I'm wondering. See, like, I know there's a lot of corporate money. Everyone thinks there's a lot of corporate money out there. I think corporate like literally deaded all their marketing dollars. Had it been a different time, I feel like someone would have sponsored something with D-Nice immediately. If it's not in the works right now, someone is working with him right now to continue doing this shit, and he's gonna talk to Instagram. And I could see it turning into like something like radio shows, where everyone has their own radio shows.
If he recorded all that, I wonder if he recorded all that. Kirk.
They probably recorded it. The only problem is that's all licensed music, so he can't save it. Does that make sense? So so most of the time when you do an Instagram live video, it allows you to save the video, right?
Yeah.
It automatically saves and it goes into your stories. I don't think none of his Instagram lives were viewable.
I also wonder if he recorded internally through his Serato.
Hopefully,
I'm sure he did.
I'm sure he did, yeah.
But it's not the same. You need like the video, like, and him talking, like, and all that shit. Yeah, like you need that whole energy. But it's like it's one of those things where it's just if you were there, you were there. If you weren't there, you weren't there.
It's a moment in time. It's a moment in time, man.
I mean, it's like you like DJing in the club. You got to be there to experience it.
Yeah.
I mean, Crooked, what you were saying, I could totally see him taking that element and maybe turning it into an actual party, like an intimate kind of setting party sponsored by another company. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because what was he calling it? He was calling it something, right?
Homeschool.
Homeschool. Like he could take that brand and maybe turn that into
that's
something.
a party now.
For sure. It's really interesting to see because no one's ever really seen music become as interactive as it became that weekend or when D Nice was on there.
Days. I mean, he's on right now. So it's great.
Is he back on right now?
Yeah.
I thought he was going to take a break. I thought Questlove took over.
Yeah, I think he said like I'm done, but if you want to continue listening, check out Questlove. He'll be doing like that. I think that was last night.
Mm-hmm.
He stopped it during the day, and then Questlove did like a night set. Before we move on to, I wanted to shout out, not to cut you off, Jamie. I wanted to shout out DJ Melody because he did a set also that was dope.
Oh,
and he did all he did all 45s.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he did like a 40. I think it was like a 30 or 40-minute set. And I just happened to catch it, and I even commented on his. I was like, "Yo, you killing it, bro! Like the shit was so clean, like so effortless. All the 40, I had no idea any of the music, but I made it even more enjoyable. But just shout out to Mello, man, because he was doing his thing too. I didn't want to leave him out.
Yeah, Ross won after our episode last week. He was kind of pressured to do a 45 set. He ended up doing a 45 set, and that was dope too.
Great set, by the way.
Yeah,
Great
it was like a dope 10-minute set. But you know what? I mean, it's all this great shit coming out of DJs, man. I think if anyone's really leading the way in innovative content for social media, it's DJs right now. That I'm seeing. I don't know. I don't see any. All these actors and supposedly creative motherfuckers are just doing TikTok videos. Like seriously,
and they look stupid doing it.
Yeah, it's just like you just kind of. I kind of look at some of these people like, yo, what the fuck? Like these people are like they have nothing else to contribute except like a TikTok video.
Videos.
Yeah, and then all these DJs are just churning out mixes and music. Audio One, shout to Audio One in San Francisco. I think he's dropping a mixtape or mix for every day that he's locked down. In San Francisco.
Every day he's doing a mixtape.
Yeah. For every day that they're locked down in San Francisco, he's doing a mixtape. So I think little shit like that is dope. Like everyone's just dropping a bunch of mixes and stuff.
Shout out to Bella Fiasco. She texted me her mixtape this morning, Tainted Love, and it's all R&B, and it's great.
That's dope.
Yeah,
I think Sour Milk is about to drop something. There's like a few people out there that's about to drop some shit.
Yo, I bought a tripod. I'm trying to do a 45. Do all 45s. I haven't done that ever before, so I'm gonna see how that works.
I think it's harder than it looks.
It is. I've been practicing. It's definitely harder.
It's hard to drop it on the one like that. Like
exactly.
That's that takes a lot of work, man. But I just wanted to let motherfuckers know to like stay active out there. I see a lot of motherfuckers on Twitter and they're just kind of going off like making money's good, but it's like unless you're gonna get a job or get some work somewhere, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta still stay active out there, man.
Yeah, you gotta build something, and we've been telling motherfuckers this for a long time. We've been telling motherfuckers for a while, y'all gotta build some shit, and if you don't take this opportunity to build something right now, you know, and
you're gonna get lost in the shuffle when everything gets back to normal eventually.
You are gonna get lost in the shuffle, a little bit. The worst thing you could do is like fucking sit and like dwell in your sorrow. That shit is not gonna help anything, man. Like,
sit there watching TV. That's not the move.
And it can happen. It can happen fast. Like depression can sit in really, really quick depending on your situation. You know what I mean? So
no, real talk. Last week, like the first week when this shit first started, all I kept doing was staying on Twitter, looking to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Like with the news and watching CNN, stressing the fuck out.
But everyone was doing that. Everyone was doing that.
I know. But it's like after a while, like after a couple of days, it's just like I have to stop doing it. I have to be like, you know what, fuck it. If something major gonna happen, I'm gonna find out regardless. I don't gotta be sitting on watching CNN 24/7.
Yeah, but it was so uncertain though. Everything was so up in the air. We didn't know what was happening. So like even all day, like all last week, all day Saturday and Sunday, I was on my phone just like looking at updates. Before I spoke with you guys, I actually spoke with like Nugget, Evil One, and Chris from Bruno's in San Francisco. I spoke I spoke to what they're doing as business owners. I spoke to a bartender homie of mine, and I spoke to a stripper homie of mine who recently who got laid off. And I just asked them what they were kind of doing. And the stripper was talking about OnlyFans. Do you know what OnlyFans is? Because I've heard of it, but I don't know anything of it.
What is that?
Jamie, you know.
Jamie, you know, huh?
Everybody's laughing. What is it?
All All right, so OnlyFans is basically a site where, like, you can say, for example, a pretty girl that has 100,000 subscribers, and she needs income, or she decides to put out her nudes. She goes to this OnlyFans, builds a profile, and you have to pay a monthly subscription of whatever she wants to put in. Some people put $10, some put $25. And then you can access, you pay the monthly fee, and then you access all her nudes or her videos of her playing with herself. It's very, very sexual. It's very porn. It's a lot of porn on there. But yeah.
You're talking about like an Instagram influencer with a huge following that everyone's like, oh my God, she's so hot, blah, 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 blah. And then she's down in the dumps and needs some money. So she creates her OnlyFans.
Yes, you're right.
And then she shows herself naked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
Like I know this girl that I follow, and I shared her with Darren a few times, her profile. She had like 120,000 followers, and to the point that she started 1 week, and she made like $50,000 that first week.
Wow.
So she took it, like, she's thinking about leaving her job now. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's a lot of money.
So are they doing
So,
like
like,
full? Are they doing like full porn, or what the fuck are they doing?
Bro, they're playing with themselves. They're naked. They're fucking other dudes. It's all crazy shit.
Oh shit!
It's
Yeah,
not,
man. So it's like live porn.
Is it live or is it,
It's like going to a peep show.
it's basically like an Instagram.
But you're in your home.
oh, it's an Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh, so like there's a feed, so you can go back and see
There's
all
a
their
feed.
old
Yeah,
pictures
yeah,
and
yeah.
videos.
You can
Oh, so
click
they're
on
like
the
this shit
just the
archived.
photos or just videos, and yeah,
Oh
it's
shit!
crazy, man.
How many people you subscribe to, Jamie?
So
Busted.
I was born. I was born a week and a half.
You ain't got
ago,
to explain
and
nothing. You ain't got to explain shit.
it was the
Oh,
first.
good,
Dude,
man.
the first day was $45, and that's the most I subscribed. And it was about 4 girls, so about like $10 a girl.
$10 a month?
Yeah, like $10 a girl. So yeah, it's like $10. So it's like 45 a month. But I unsubscribed to all of them. I only did like a monthly join. It was worth it.
So wait, there's dudes on there too?
I didn't know about the dudes, but I know about the women that I follow.
So I might be able to get on there and do some push-ups and get some money.
You might get some money off of that, dude. I'm sure there's a lot of girls that will pay that $10 fee for you.
Relax.
And-
Relax.
Yo, that might be. I might have to check this out when we get off of here real quick. I'm gonna see what's good.
Yeah,
crazy.
D, you can oil your body and shit and do all of that.
Oil your
Yeah.
body.
And just lift weights.
Yeah.
Like butt ass
Come up with a
naked.
cool-
yeah. Yeah, you could do that. You can make some money doing
Girls
that
will do
shit.
it.
Yeah.
Dude, girls
They
are
gotta be
making
a
some
market
bank
for that, right?
Yeah.
There
Somewhere.
is a market for
Somewhere.
that.
Yeah, it has to be, man.
People who like little black guys who are in shape. I don't know. What is
Yeah. I'm sure there's a market for all of us in some category. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a chubby chasers, you know,
Yeah,
the
just
Asian
Yeah, like,
persuasion.
lifting
girls,
weights
like-
and shit. Do any of y'all want to touch on anything else? Pause. Like any talk about anything or no? We good?
Yeah, I think we're good, man.
What do you call it? I did want to end this by giving a couple of shout outs. Want to give a big happy birthday to DJ Riz.
Yeah.
One of the
Oh, yeah.
Happy
one of
birthday.
one of our favorite DJs and one of like the best dudes I know in the game. Shout to DJ Riz, happy birthday. Shout to DJ
Yeah.
Premier, another legend. And then
Salute.
honestly, we've been talking about IG Lives and D Nice is part of the originals. There's an originals party with Clark Kent, Stretch Armstrong,
Stretch
Rich
Armstrong.
Medina, Tony Touch.
Yeah.
They were supposed to have a party on Thursday, and I think obviously with the coronavirus it's canceled. But they're gonna, I guess they're gonna do the party on IG Live.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they
so-
do the party once a month, I think.
Yeah, which should be amazing. So if you guys can catch that, it'll be this Thursday with D Nice, Stretch Armstrong, Rich Medina, Tony Touch, and Clark Kent. So be on the lookout for that and on Instagram Live. That should be amazing.
You know what? As we recording right now, Big Ben is doing the IG Live, which
Oh,
I want
wow.
to catch.
Shouts to Big Ben.
Yeah, Big Ben's
Yeah.
nasty, yo. That motherfucker.
Yeah, he's doing 45s.
Oh, is he?
Oh shit.
Okay.
Mhm.
So let's
Can't
end
wait
this.
to-
Let's end this
what?
as quick as possible.
Shout out to all the listeners. Shout out to all the listeners that have been posting our shit up and been listening, keeping it faithful. Appreciate y'all.
Mhm.
I know there's a lot of content that's going out, but y'all keeping it faithful to us on Wednesdays. So appreciate y'all.
And also a big shout, a rest in peace to Frank Jugga.
Oh man, yeah.
A lot of y'all, some of y'all on the West Coast, and maybe some of y'all down south may not know who Frank Jugga is, but I know his reputation is beyond New York City. But in New York City, he was a major figure in nightlife. He's one of the best dudes. He was always on the mic. He was just making the party live. We're actually gonna go. We're gonna call up Goldfinger and Nev, and me, you, and Goldfinger will kind of talk about Frank Jugga a little bit and show him some love and whatnot.
Yo, peace.
I'm gonna contact DJ Goldfinger and Chris Landry, who have worked closely with Frank Jugga, and I want to explain more about what Frank contributed to the New York nightlife scene and how he was such a major fixture in hip hop culture, working with pretty much almost everybody in the business, from Diddy, Jay-Z, Jam Master Jay, and he was involved with all of these amazing DJs. So let me hit these fellas up and see what's good. Hey, what's good, fellas? I'm actually live on satellite with of course DJ Never from R.O.A.D podcast.
Yo, what's up?
And then we got Chris Landry in Brooklyn.
Peace from Brooklyn. Peace from Brooklyn.
And legendary DJ Goldfinger from Brooklyn as well. What's good, man?
Peace. What's going on?
What's good, fellas?
DK in the building.
I really appreciate y'all like coming on the show right now. Chris, we've been talking about you coming on the show for a minute now. You got a long history in New York nightlife.
A long history with Frank Jugga.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you doing this show to help raise awareness about his career, his life, and the GoFundMe account to help his family. So that's all.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that, brother.
So recently, we Frank Jugga passed, and I think you guys can go into details a lot more than I can. But from me coming into the scene in the early 2000s, late 90s, I know he was known as kind of like the man on the mic who kept the party live. He was like what was his monikers, like the Celebrity's Choice, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Celebrity's Choice. Ask Diddy.
The mic host for the Stars, and he did Diddy events. He did Jigga events. He was basically in almost every nightclub and high-profile event in New York City.
In Manhattan.
Manhattan, yeah.
And it was Goldfinger who gave him his start in the clubs, because he was carrying Flex's records, but it was Goldfinger at Club Cheetahs that really put Frank on with the mic at the clubs.
I can't take all of the credit. Like he was actually Frank is really he was really like, he always dapped me up and everything, and I appreciated that. But I met Frank. Of course he was doing the stuff with Flex, and he's cool with Flex, and but he was actually doing parties with Red Alert. Red Alert was actually having him on the mic doing stuff with him, and I actually met Frank Jugga at Justin's. Him doing a party at Justin's, and he was doing it with Max Glazer.
Wow.
Yeah, so this might have been 98.
I saw that Max Glazer donated to the GoFundMe account that Jessica Rosenblum and Cassidy created.
Yeah.
So Max Glazer for donating to the GoFundMe account. We appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it's cool. He was rocking with Max. He was doing joints with Red Alert, and also he was doing joints with Jam Master Jay. Jam Master Jay loved Frank Jugga. So he was going on tour and he was being his hype man. Jay would have set, he would do stuff. I also went on tour with Jam Master Jay as well, but in different capacity.
Right.
You know what I mean? Jugga had his own relationship with Jam Master Jay, and he went on the tour with him, and it was just love. You know what I mean? I met him at Justin's, and I just felt like when I heard his voice, it was just flavor. It was just flavor, and I was just like, good. And I hadn't played with him before at that time, but I knew who he was because of the whole franchise and the whole connection.
And if you could tell the people what year this was, what year was this?
This was actually 99. I could say 99. But I had heard of Frank Jugga from way before then because, like I said before, he was with Chuck, and he was with Chuck Chill Out. He was with Flex. You know what I mean? He was doing stuff with Red Alert. That type of stuff.
And this was like the time. This was the time when there was this legendary street where all the dope clubs were. Justin's was Diddy's restaurant, right? At the time,
yes.
And it was like right across the street there was Cheetahs, right? And
down the block was Cheetahs.
Down the block was Cheetahs, and then there was Central Fly too, right?
Right next door.
It was in that area.
Yeah, but they were like kind of all together, and I forgot what street it was, like 20-something street,
21st.
right? 21st Street, yeah.
Yeah, and the tunnels on Sunday night were super crazy legendary around that whole era. And that was like when Big Cat was coming up, who we also worked with, rest in peace. We worked in the office together, me and Frank Jugga and Big Cat, Funk Flex, Big Dog franchise. And this is when the tunnel would reign supreme.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact. So when he was doing that at the tunnel, he was getting on early with Johnny Walker Red or maybe Riz.
Oh man, I haven't heard that name in a minute, man.
You know, because Riz at that point when he was doing stuff at the tunnel, Riz was still there. He was still big. He was still Flip Squad.
Yeah.
So
Big shout to Riz. Yeah. Big shout to Riz.
He was still there, and he would get on early burn with them, and then Cap would come, but Cap usually would show up late, so he would get a little chance, and then like if Flex got there, then Flex would get on, and then Cap would come. And then that would be the end of his, his night for the most part.
Every day of the week, whatever the hot party is, Frank was hosting it.
Can you guys kind of explain a little bit to like some of the people outside of New York? I know Frank kind of traveled everywhere, but he was like, he was definitely like an icon in New York. But explain to some of these West Coast, down south, overseas people exactly what Frank did.
I don't really think we have to, because you know what the crazy thing is that New York is like a tourist town. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people that was in town doing business or had to come out or network with the labels or whatever else.
Right.
They came by, and whatever night that was popping, they would go and they would see Frank. You had to. It was inescapable. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of times, like it was a really big conference. There was an EMS conference, and we were doing Planet Hollywood. This must have been 2000, or it might have been 2000. And I remember Meth Bleak was out with Duma, so that might have been right. So pretty much, and we were fucking demolished in Planet Hollywood, and it was like 50 DJs, and he's shouting people out on the mic. Yeah, and I don't think that people was really used to that
exactly
authentic New York style. You know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of cats he got up with. And then he started working with Def Jam. He kept the contacts with them, and he made like drops and for their mixtapes, because that what was the joint at that time.
Right.
A lot of people was doing mixtapes still.
That's kind of what I wanted you guys to explain a little bit, because like Goldfinger, you posted on Instagram, saying a couple like amazing words towards Frank Jugga. You were basically saying that, he kind of changed the game. There weren't many people on the mic in the beginning. There was like SNS, Flex, Capri, Brucey B, rest in peace, Starsky, Big Cat, rest in peace. But, he kind of moved everywhere, though. You know what I mean? Like he didn't just do hip hop. He did all types of events, but he was one of the first the first dudes on the mic, because I actually spun with him maybe 2 to 3 times. And I was like, oh shit, like I'm spinning with Frank Jugga. I was like crazy nervous, but he was like, shouting people out, keeping the party going. He was just ready with every record, and I really learned a lot about mic control and everything.
It changes everything when Frank is on the mic at the party. It makes it so much more grown and sexy. I think he had 2 great skills: talking on the mic at parties and making women smile.
Yeah, that was a specialty right there.
One of the first times I heard him on the mic was at Envy with you, Goldfinger.
Nice.
Like back in this had to be like 2000.
Yeah, totally.
2000, right? Yeah.
The thing was what was special about Frank at that time, and like I was saying, and this is no slight to anybody, but primarily those guys were DJs, so them doing the mic thing was unique to them. Mm-hmm. Like Doo-Wop, of course, he talks on the mic, but he wasn't in the clubs like that. And Ron G, they weren't in the clubs like that. Yeah. Kid Capri was on the road, so he wasn't really in New York like that.
Exactly.
SNS was on the road. He wasn't in New York like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, it was that far and few in between where it kept that authentic New York type of style.
Wow. Okay.
So Frank Jugga represented that. And his style was tailored like on some old school, because he had learned from Hollywood, and he had learned from Starsky, and he had learned from the older vets on that type of MCing. You feel what I'm saying?
So he really loved Hollywood and loved Starsky and Brucey B. He really looked up to them. you know, pattered him, looked after them a lot, and then they became his best friends.
Nice.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you would almost say that he kind of carried that 80s, 90s energy in New York into the 2000s a little bit, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what made it special, because that's what made it special.
Yeah.
And he had a way of talking on the mic that's not too aggressive.
Right.
And that's why I translated to so many different places, because it was charming. It was it was engaging,
right,
but it wasn't overtly too aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we were able to do a lot of spots and have it to where it's like, as soon as you came in, he was like, "Oh, they're coming in." He made you feel comfortable, and you let your guard down. And that's why a lot of the parties had such a touch and a feeling to them, because it's like people were already at home when they came to those spots.
Right.
And these are regular spots that for years, that went on for years.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Frank, I think that he pulled, and he had a niche at the right time, and he was able to translate an old school sensibility to the new style of what was going on with the new hip hop.
Right.
And his forte, he fell right into the pocket when it was time for you to mix the classics or the R&B, because that was his love. He loved classics. He loved R&B.
Yeah, like Hollywood and Love Bug Starsky, they were all playing a lot of, you know, disco, and some people even call them disco DJs. And it's like a disco old school style of being on the mic and being personable and making the ladies feel good and knowing the lyrics, so the records can talk to each other and he can talk with the records.
You would think the way that Frank kind of approached things, you would think that he was much older, but he really wasn't. So when we linked up, and I was playing like 80s or like you know, New Jack Swing and shit like that, he got it, because it was like he wasn't getting that from the other guys that he was, you know, kind of rocking with,
right?
Because that wasn't their, you know what I mean? Not saying that wasn't their music, but they weren't playing those records. That wasn't their claim to fame.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
We did a Love Bug Starsky tribute show in my living room on Be Real TV, and we had Grandmaster Caz, DJ Hollywood, and Brucey B and Frank Jugga in one room live. And I knew he was with his idols. He was doing what he was born to do. He had a huge smile on his face. It was like what he lived to do. He was on the mic with Brucey B, DJ Hollywood, Grandmaster Caz, like in one room. I was like, man, this is exactly what he's supposed to be. Like, this is it.
Yeah.
Is that online? Can I find that?
Find it on Facebook.
We did Club Envy for his birthday, and on the flyer, which is actual factual, K Slay, Funkmaster Flex, Lovebug Starsky, Red Alert,
wow,
Chuck Chill Out,
wow,
Jam Master J,
wow,
Brucey B, and me
How
on the flyer. And they all showed up, and they all contributed to that party at Club Envy.
What year was that? What year was that?
This was 2002.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
what a lineup. What a lineup, yo.
Yeah.
Good. Never, you wanted to ask a question? What was it?
Yeah, I was going to ask Goldfinger, how did you guys hook up? Like, who idea was it that you guys worked together?
Okay, so basically when I met him at Justin's, New York is kind of, you know, funny. You don't really, a lot of people don't come up and like check your style and be like, hey, yo, man, I like what you're doing. You know, we kind of like, you know, standoffish a little bit in New York.
Exactly,
but I went up to him and I was like, hey, yo, I said, yo, you kind of dope. Yo, I like your voice. I like your voice. He was like, yo, what's going on? It was like, you know, I told him my name and he was like, oh, okay. I heard about you, but you could tell that he didn't really know who I was or whatever. And it was cool. It's cool. It was cool at that time. You know what I mean? It's cool.
We all knew who you were.
He didn't know who I was. Anyway, so I decided to hook up with him because I was doing the parties by myself primarily, but I just wanted to have somebody to say it because on my mixtapes I would use my homeboy Footloose Dre, Footy. If everybody knows, he was the voice on my mixtape. So I always had like a counterpart that would kind of talk for me or give my shout outs in my career. So when I went to Frank, I was like, you know what? Let me get your number. And, you know, I have some parties that I think you can, we can do. I'll bring you up. Our first party was for Aaliyah. The Romeo Must Say died. Romeo Must Die.
Oh, shit.
Party.
Oh, wow.
Album release party, rather. Album release party at the Kit Kat Club.
Wow, man.
Yeah, so we made history on that one, and it was magic from there. And we just kept going, and from there it just was another party after another party, another party, another party, and then Envy, then Cheetah, and everything else followed.
Wow. Yeah, and Chris, you have actually a long history with him. You guys worked at Franchise.
Yeah, days that Goldfinger's talking about, the late '90s. We were with Flex at Franchise Big Dog on Fifth Avenue,
and that's a record pool, right? For like
a record pool, but a marketing company as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that's where they ran the tunnel out of, and the Funkmaster Flex mixtapes through
really?
Loud Records.
Oh shit, I didn't know that. I just used to go there and pick up my promo records and shit, and I'd have
I did the same thing as well.
and then I'd get yelled at because I didn't fill out the what do you call it, the feedback sheets or whatever the fuck it was.
I hated doing that shit, man.
So you guys worked together at Franchise and with Flex.
5 days a week for years, like during the golden era of like clubs and record labels.
Wow.
Parties
and then you guys now, I mean, more recently, you guys work together on your show, which is on Be Real TV. It's the DJ Green Room, right? And it's every Wednesday, right?
Every Wednesday. Every Wednesday. We've done a show every week for the last 3 years with the biggest DJs in the world, and Frank Jugga is hosting. He's on the mic, shouting people out. So anybody that really wants to see what Frank does, just go on to Facebook and search Frank Jugga, Be Real TV. There's tons and tons of shows. You can see him on the mic, rocking it, shouting people out, and you'll be able to see what it is that he does and what makes him so special and what makes him, I think, the best ever at it.
And but on your show, he's kind of like the slimmer Frank Jugga. Because Frank Jugga was like, I think he
got sick several years ago. He got cancer, and he lost half of Frank Jugga in weight.
Yeah.
Like he was big and heavy, like too big and too heavy.
Right.
And he got sick, and he lost like half his weight or more.
And then
since then, he's been struggling with different health problems in and out of the hospital, which he never liked to talk about on social media, but I was there and I saw him in and out of the hospital on life support at different times, and I knew it was only every moment was sacred with him. So we were lucky. We recorded a show a few weeks ago interviewing him and focusing on him with Marty Rock and the Jason Experience, and I'm glad we got that done. And they interviewed Frank, and he broke down his whole history, and one of the first things he did was shout out Goldfinger.
Yeah.
And we're going to, so if anyone wants to see what Frank Jugga did, what made him special, they could just check out any of those shows.
Amazing.
I just want to say what the magnitude of what Frank did.
Yeah.
I mean, what it meant to get like a Frank shout out, you know what I mean? On the mic at those spots where you had celebrities in there. Like you had Snoop Dogg, you had Diddy, you had Jay-Z, you had all these different people that would be in these spots. And to get that, hey, girlfriend, or this, that, and the third. He made everybody in the house feel important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where if he got on your record and he made a moment out of your record was the talk of the city. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he could put some weight on your record just with the shout outs that he gave. If he gave you a shout out at the right time, you were stamped because there was a lot of people in those parties that wanted shout outs. Trust me. Even celebrities. They wanted those looks.
Remember me and Never, we used to make fun of because we'd be at the parties and he'd be giving shout outs to like all of these celebrities and shit. We'd be like, damn, these motherfuckers are over here. Like, he'd be like, big shout to Madonna. We're like, is Madonna over here? Like, what the fuck? Like, we're just looking around and shit.
He's just dropping names.
He's just dropping names, and we're like, is Madonna really here? Like,
we're like, oh shit.
Yeah, man.
If I can, let me get a little story off. I think I told you this before on the last podcast, but I met Michael Jackson because of Frank Jugga. So we were doing the MTV Awards out in LA at Ron Burkle's house. He's like a supermarket magnate, real rich guy. But Diddy was hosting the party, and we were out there for him. And it was the 2003 MTV Movie Awards. So everybody that was hot at the time was there that night. And Michael Jackson lives not too far from there.
Yeah.
He was actually there just chilling like in a pajama suit with some loafers, just chilling. So what happened was, we don't notice. We don't notice, of course. We notice now. I'm just saying, obviously. But we were in the booth, setting the tone and this, that, and the third. I threw on PYT at that point. Now, it's debatable because he always says rock with you. I say PYT, but I remember PYT.
Yeah.
So basically what happened was, he says, yo, I'm going to go to the bathroom. So he goes out of the booth. And at that time, Jugga was big. So he was like, kind of like making his way out. And he was kind of, squeezing out of the booth to get out of the bathroom, to go to the bathroom. So all of a sudden, like, hurries back in and like hits me on my back really fucking hard. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And he's like, Michael Jackson's out there. And I'm like, what? He said, look. And he grabs me and he pulls my head down towards the opening where the booth is at. And we see Michael Jackson. We go out. So from there, we walk up to him and I'm stuck. I'm just like, oh shit, it's Michael Jackson. And then Jim's like, he shakes his hand and I shake his hand and he says, nice record. And I'm like, that was like the biggest moment.
Yeah.
And I was just so glad to share that with Jugga. It's like we were there and it's like he was just telling me the whole night. It's like, yo, it's over for me. Like I was with JMSJ and Run DMC. I met Michael Jackson. It's over.
That's dope, man.
Crazy, yo. I kind of want to push this GoFundMe link for Frank Jugga and his family, right?
So go to Jessica Rosenblum's Instagram page, Jay Rosenblum, or DJ Cassidy, or DJ Chris Landry on Instagram, and you can find the GoFundMe in our bios.
Okay, and then we'll post it on. We'll try and post it on our link for for a couple of days, so people can watch this video and donate something for that.
Thank you.
For Frank
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, R.O.A.D podcast.
Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you guys,
man.
Samara.
Yeah.
Thank you to his wife, Samara. Thank you to his kids, Frankie Jr. and Madison. We love you, and our hearts go out to you, and you have our prayers and condolences. And I just want to end it off by saying, yo, Frank was a really good guy, man. He really was a really good guy, and we loved him, and he represented hip hop in the right way, and he was a really good guy, man. He was a really good guy. And we love you. We love you. We miss you, Frank.
Rest in peace. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Thank you, fellas.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Yo, big shout to DJ Goldfinger. Big shout to Chris Landry and DJ Neva, man. I'm really glad we got to speak on Frank Jugga. Rest in peace once again. And it's really important if you guys can donate anything from $1 to $5. So please check the link in our bio. Anything helps, especially if you're from New York. For real, if you're from New York and you ever work with Frank Jugga, if you've known of him, donate whatever you can. I know shit is rough right now, but $5, $10, $20, whatever you can, yo.
Now, I used to be in the tunnel with Flex, but my first club, big up to DJ Goldfinger. I used to do Club Cheetah on Friday and Saturday.
Rest in peace, Club Cheetah.
Then I did Club Envy. This is all in 1 week. I used to do Club Envy on Wednesdays. Friday and Saturday I was at Cheetah. Sunday I was at Chaos. Saturday I was at BB King's. So I was doing all them clubs. And then, by the way, Diddy come calling. I used to do parties at Diddy's house up in the Hamptons.
Oh, okay.
And from there, I got Jay-Z. I was doing parties for him and Beyonce. Then Jam Master Jay came calling, took me out to San Francisco, and we killed it out there.
What was it like back then?
Man, I was running around like Chris to tell you. I was at Franchise during the day, started working at Def Jam. Red Alert took me under his wing, and it was all good, and life is good.